So I don't really know how that works. So anyway, okay, welcome to tonight's team call. We have Team Rise Up Dynasty, Dreamer Society, and Rising Together because Emily is on her honeymoon. So I am so excited that you guys get to hop on this call and, hear from Ashley. A couple of announcements, actually just one, because we were just talking about this on our Diamond Mastermind just now. You guys, if you don't know this, right now there's a Summer Strong sale and all challenge packs are $20 off. So please take advantage of that when you're connecting and inviting and sharing on your social media, wherever you're sharing, that right now it's $20 off up until June 30th. So this month and next month, $20 off. Take advantage of that. We do this every summer, and it's so funny because I was literally thinking like, oh my gosh, when are they going to do this? And I saw it in the back office. I think I've just been so consumed with Let's Get Up. I didn't even realize that they were doing this sale. But yes, so that's really the only announcement that we have. Where are we? I was trying to move you guys over, but I do want to introduce our guest speaker and give her plenty of time. Ashley, thank you for being on. She is a 10-star, 2-time elite SD10 legend and did top 60 last year. And she's going to be talking to us about how she built to a 10-star team while also working full time. I think that's so inspiring because we do have a lot of, working coaches on here, myself included, a lot of teachers, nurses, even stay-at-home moms. I mean, I'm sure this will resonate with you either way. Also, congratulations. I was watching your story and didn't realize that you're pregnant too. So congratulations. I'm like, all these pregnant mamas, what's in the Energize? Like, that's what I want to know. But I'm going to stop talking and I will, stop my share and go ahead, Ashley.
Hi guys. Thank you. Yes, I am pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant. So I'm out of breath all the time. So I'm going to be like all night. So apologies for that. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm super pumped. I'm so glad we connected, Gabby. I'm excited to have you on my team call tomorrow and to be here tonight. Whenever people like introduce on team calls and you see all like the cool things like, oh, she's a 2-star. Oh, she's a 5-star. She's a 10-star, 2-time elite. I'm over here. I'm like, I literally still don't know what I'm doing. So like, I'm totally going to tell you all the things, but it's just so funny, right? Because this is the cool thing about this business is that we're always learning. Like I just had 2 emeralds do my team call last week. And I was like writing notes, like, guys, it doesn't matter what your rank is in the business. Like there is so much to learn from so many people, but every time I see that, I'm like, yeah, I did that thing, but like, not sure. We don't know what we're doing. So, okay. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you permission.
Perfect. So I use Canva, just hear me out. I use Canva, okay, for my little presentations, but when I present in Canva, my little button doesn't work, okay? So it's gonna be really ugly and it's not gonna be full screen, so it's fine. We're just gonna pretend like it's pretty and we're all gonna be okay. I literally have to present like this. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about growing your business successfully while working full time. Oh man, I shared my screen without asking this question. Can you guys let me know, or Gabby, could you unmute yourself and let me know where are we here? Like, do we have a lot of emeralds here, diamonds here? Like, where are we in the business for these guys?
So I mean, this will help. We're right now in the middle of we're calling it this round as our Summit Diamond push. So we did open it up to coaches who either dropped emerald, want to, or grow their emeralds for Summit qualification, but also we do have a lot of girls who are pushing for diamond. So like, that's kind of where we're at. And then maybe like one that are like star diamond, trying to get 1 or 2 that are trying to get their star diamonds back. So like, that's kind of where we're at with that.
Awesome. Regardless, this is going to apply to everyone, but I just like to know who I'm talking to here. So, and I heard you guys have a lot of teachers and nurses on this team, and like, that's all of my team too. Holy moly. So I'm glad there's a similarity there. So I'm going to talk to you guys about growing your business successfully while working full time, a little bit about myself, quick. I'm from Maine. Like nobody literally knows what is in Maine. People are like, you're from Maine? Where is that? I'm from Maine. I'm 27 years old. I am married. My husband is a police officer. I have 3 large dogs who are my world. I am soon to be mom. So I am 6 months pregnant today, actually, with my first baby. And I also work full time as a behavior analyst for children with special needs. So I've been doing that. I've been in that field the whole time I've been a coach. So I started coaching almost 5 years ago. Next week, is it 5 years? It's something crazy like that. When I see myself like, oh my gosh, you've been coaching for 5 years, it's absolutely insane. Wow. But anyway, next week it'll be my 5-year like coach anniversary. So I joined right out of college, guys. You know the story. Many of you probably have experienced something similar, but I got out of college. I was broke. I was pissed at the world. I was super depressed, 30 pounds overweight, had tried for years to lose weight. I went through phases of under eating and over exercising. Then I struggle. I wouldn't say I'm in recovery now, but I struggled a lot with binge eating disorder. Had to go to therapy. Like I would eat, and then I would restrict and run all the time. So I was in that cycle of like up 25 pounds, down 25 pounds very quickly. So I damaged the shit out of my body. I also curse like a sailor. I'm going to try to keep it PG here. Sorry. I damaged my body so bad. So I was a binge eater, and then I would go through cycles of like, let's not eat and run like 80 miles. Not really, that's an exaggeration, but you guys get the gist. So I was just a mess. I graduated college, I was a mess. I was sad, depressed, whatever. Also my transformation picture here I'm looking at, I'm like, I totally don't look like that girl on the right anymore because I'm pregnant, but it's fine. So I jumped into coaching right away. I had this random girl reach out to me and she was like, hey, she knew me from college, never spoke to her in my life. Hey, she messaged me, hey, I think you'd be a great coach. And I was at my wit's end. I was like, I'm done with this health and fitness BS because I did the wraps, I did the pills, I did the, not pill, like I did the diet pills. Sorry, let's clarify. I did the diet pills, I did the drink, like the drinks, the fat burners. I did it all, right? Because I was so unhappy with myself. I was binging, I was under eating, I was doing all the things. So I was like, man, am I going to do this thing? She's like, I think you'd be a good coach. And I thought about it for like 5 minutes and then I was like, sure. Like, why not? And don't ask me why I was that easy to sign up because I was in a spot where like I was miserable. I was so depressed. So I'm like, sure, why not? And she was like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So I just totally jumped in. Easiest coach recruit ever. Who am I? So I just went with it. So she was an Emerald coach. And so I jumped into the business and like 3 months later, I was like kind of a part of a big team, whatever, like way down. And then everybody quit one day. It's like 3 months into my business, everybody quit. Like my coach, her everybody. So I was like, that's interesting. What do I do now? So ever since then, I've had no upline. So I jumped into this business and I was like, how am I going to do this? I got to figure this out. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. So it took me a while, guys. Like you see when, oh yeah, I hit 10 star, I'm a 2-time elite coach, blah, blah, blah. Right. But I want you guys to know that if you're in a season right now of like, oh, I'm doing all the things and I'm frustrated. Oh my God, I was a star diamond. Now I'm a diamond. Oh my gosh, I was a diamond. Now I'm an emerald. It's taking too long. It took me a while. I am not a person that's going to come on here and say like, yep, I hit, and if you are, like, love you, but like I hit 10 star in 1 year, like I'm a 5-star and it took me 6 months. Like, no. For my story, like I took almost 3 years to hit elite and we hit 10 star last year. So it took me quite a long time, guys, and it doesn't have to. And that's why I love mentoring because it doesn't have to take that long. I literally built my business by myself through national wake up calls. Like if you have, would you do an amazing upline? Like you'll go way faster than this, right? But just so you know, it's okay to have that story of maybe it can take a little bit more time. So don't get in that mindset of, oh, she's doing it so much faster than me, right? That's not going to help you. So that's one thing I want you to remember when I'm talking to you tonight is never compare your journey to somebody else's. This is just like a little side note. It's your goal, it's your journey, your time, your business. So whether it takes you a day to hit Emerald or 2 weeks to hit Emerald, or whether you've been coaching for 2 months and that girl that just joined your team just hit Diamond and you're like, what the heck? I've been trying to, like, don't do that. like we don't have time for that. I used to tell my coaches all the time, because I felt like everybody around me was like, they had started years after me and they're hitting 5-star like super quickly. And I'm like, trying not to compare, but like, yay for them. Like I was getting frustrated. So then I started thinking about, like, used to tell my coaches, like, I cannot wait to hit 10-star and tell people that it took me that long, because you know what? I'm going to be able to talk to somebody one day and inspire them to be like, wow, I need to keep going. Because it does happen when you continue, right? It's not always like, oh my gosh, I didn't hit it in 6 months. I'm done. I'm over it, right? That's not going to get to you to where you want to be, right? So just a little side nugget here. Never compare your journeys to somebody else's, because I'm out here hitting elite at like year 4. Okay. It does not take that long, but that's what happened to me. Okay. So I work full time. So in the busiest part of my life, there was a time in my life where I was working 50 plus hours a week at my full-time job. And in my full-time job, I work in special education. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. So I work with kiddos with really severe behaviors, right? So it's a pretty high stress job. And it's really exhausting. And honestly, if you're a teacher, you totally understand. And if you're a nurse, holy moly, you totally understand. So I was working 50 plus hours a week. I was planning a wedding. I was doing life, right? Like I had appointments and meetings and family and a husband and dogs and all the things. And I was also in accelerated grad school. Who does that? Why would I do that? I don't know. It just happened. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then halfway through, I'm like, yeah, why did I ever do this? I also had to, during this time, I had to accrue over 1,500 hours of supervision for my degree. What? Yeah. And then I was working on my own mental health and fitness journey, and I was running my business. I'm not sure how I survived, but there's always someone busier than you, right? Like I read that and I'm like, wow, isn't that crazy that there's always someone busier than you? Like I could have had 6 kids when I was doing all that. You know what I mean? There's always someone busier than you. So always remember that. Okay. So whatever you have on your plate right now, totally valid to be like, holy moly, this is a lot. But just know there's always someone busier than you and they're doing it. So you can too. Okay. Don't ever compare in a negative way, but use that as your fuel and your fire and your inspiration to realize that you can do this. Okay. So when I was in that season of my life, I was so busy. I was so busy. There was so much on my plate, but I knew, right? I remembered why I was doing this business, right? Why are you doing this business? That is at the forefront. And you guys are probably rolling your eyes and you're like, yeah, you're the 80th person to tell me that I always have to remember why I am working this business, right? So number 1, you need to prioritize your business. First things first. And in your head right now, you're like, oh yeah, Ash, I do. I totally prioritize my business. But I want you to take a step back and think like, are you actually prioritizing your business? Because if you let a day go by where your business is on the back burner, that's not prioritizing your business, right? Like I'm a behavior analyst. So I'm like very visual and like numbers and like I need to see it. So I literally wrote out like my biggest priorities, right? So like if you have kids, that should probably be on the top of your list. Like if you're married, like that's up there too. You know what I mean? Like you have to prioritize your life. So obviously I had like, you know, my life, like my husband, like whatever. But you bet your bottom dollar that my business was like number 2, because I had a vision for my business that if I got to a certain spot, like I had in my brain, I was like, okay, Ashley, this business needs to be your priority, because what do you want in your life? What does your everyday look like? And my goal from the beginning was to be able to stay at home with my kids, right? So why wouldn't I prioritize that business? Okay. You need to prioritize it. First things first. If you're not making it a priority, it's not going to happen for you. Okay. Little bit of a tough love. Love you so much, but it will not happen unless you put your business at the top of your list. Again, of course, kids come first, but like put it at the top. Like, you know, binge watching Grey's Anatomy is like really high on my list, but like my business is before that. Right. So making sure that you're prioritizing your business. The second tip that I have for you that I have really, really, really done over the last 5 years is my workday is not over until my business activity tracker is filled out. And for me personally, I was 10xing everything, right? So I wasn't just doing the bare minimum because I was pushing to 10 star. I was pushing to elite, but honestly, guys, if you're pushing to diamond and 1 star, like you still need to 10x your business activity tracker. Okay. So if I say, all right, my work day for my full-time job, right, guys, like if my work day is 8 to 4, okay, if my work day is 8 to 4, in my head, I'm not going to get done work until around 6 o'clock. That's when I clock out for the night, right? Because if I work 8 to 4 and I come home, my work day is not over because my work also includes my business, right? So when you're thinking about your work day, maybe you work 9 to 3, right? Maybe you work 9 to 3. No, you don't. Not anymore. You work 9 to 5, right? Or whatever. What if you do an hour, 2 hours, whatever, half an hour? I don't know. Always make sure that you don't tell yourself, oh, I'm getting home from work and I'm done for the night. I'm done for the night. I don't care when you do it. You can do it at night. But to me, I'm like, my work day isn't over until my work is done for my business. Okay. Work day isn't over until my business activity tracker is 10x. People don't understand. Are you guys Netflix people who like, are you addicted to TV? Okay, me too. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Grey's Anatomy. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. So I started telling my team, I'm like, because we always have like a little chat before team call, right? And one night we were talking about a Grey's Anatomy episode and I was like, hold on. Did anybody get their work done before the Grey's Anatomy episode, right? And it was a really big gut check. It really was, because I did, thankfully, because I called my team out and I'm like, phew, good thing that was a night that I actually got my shit done, right? Because we all have those times. But one last episode. I mean, guys, if you're like into, Friends or like The Office, they're like shorter work. Look at me, I'm a Netflix person apparently. If you're into like shows that have shorter workouts, guys, 20 minutes is a Friends episode. You watch one less episode of Friends every night, you get your invites done. Boom, done. Hello. Grey's Anatomy is 40 minutes. That's double. You could do double your invites during that time. It can be on in the background, or one less episode a night. Okay. That's what I was doing. I was sacrificing a little bit of time here and there. I'm a person that was sacrificing sleep, and that sucked. But you know what? It got me to where I wanted to be. And it's not, I always say like, don't like not sleep, but instead of sleeping a full 10 hours, right? I was going to bed a little bit later and waking up a little bit earlier to make sure my business got done, because I was remembering why I was doing it. Okay. Also, I will bet you $100,000 that somebody on this call gets caught scrolling during their business hour. Hi, it's me. Like, it's me. I do it. It's so bad. TikTok is the worst thing that could ever happen to us, because I get stuck on that all the time. You got to set timers. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. I was setting timers so I wasn't scrolling, because all of a sudden, right, you're on your phone, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do some like recognition, or like I'm going to connect with people, right? And then all of a sudden 5 minutes goes by and you're somehow on TikTok finding, quote unquote, finding ideas for TikTok. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. You are scrolling TikTok. You are. I know you are. So before you scroll TikTok, this is a behavior person to me, right? You need to do your work, then you can scroll TikTok. It's like a reward, right? It's like a reward. Stop scrolling, set your timer. So if I'm saying, hey, do 10 invites, set your timer on your phone and do not stop until the timer goes off. And then if you need 2 minutes to go on TikTok to restart, there you go. Set your timer. I'm serious. That's what I do with my kids at work. That's what I do. It's human behavior, right? You do the things and then you get your fun time. That's what happens. Stop scrolling on TikTok. Early morning work sessions changed my life. I was coming home after a long day of work. I was exhausted. And I would come home and I would be like, oh my God, yeah, let me make dinner. I'm just going to sit on the couch, maybe one episode. And I was so burnt out, and I was giving time to my business, but not energy to my business. That's what I was doing. Yes, I was sitting there and I was doing the things, but there was no energy. So I was getting nowhere. So I started working in the mornings, and it was really not easy to transition into it. But if you are working full time, let me tell you, if you do an early morning work session, your life will be so much better. I promise. I'm literally promising you that. I woke up probably 45 minutes earlier than I usually did, and I got a big chunk of my work hour, I guess, in. And then when I was growing more rapidly, I did a second one after work. But knowing that I was going to work and I'm like, okay, phew, my social media is planned. Like I emptied my inbox, I did my recognition, I worked out, I was on social media, you know, those types of things. I felt so good so that at the end of the day, I could finish, right? And I'll kind of go through that, how I broke that up. Always remembering your vision and why. Do not forget it, because if you forget it, you're going to forget what you're working for. And guess what, guys? This is an amazing outlet, right? It's an amazing opportunity, but it's also your job, right? So in your full-time job, have you ever been burnt out? Hi. Have you ever been burnt out at your full-time job? Sometimes this business can get hard to show up, right? But if you have your vision in your forefront, you're going to want to show up. If you forget it and you're just checking the boxes of the business activity tracker, you're not going to want to show up every day. Okay, you're not. So you have to make sure you understand your vision and your why of working the business. Every day that I did not want to show up to my business and I wanted to watch Grey's Anatomy instead of sending my invites, I said, Ashley, what are you working for? You want to stay home one day with your kids. I have lots of different whys and visions, but like that was my biggest one, right? It's so important. You full-time working humans, if you have kids, like, I don't know if anybody has kids on here, like ask for help in other areas. I said to my husband, listen to my words. In this part of my life, I was so busy. I said, listen to me right now. Nope, I cannot do the laundry. Like that is something that I'm telling you right now, I can't do it. So you got to ask for help in other areas if you have it, right? Ask some of your coaches to host a team call a couple times a month or a couple times whenever, like, hi, Diamond on my team. Hi, you're an Emerald on my team. Will you speak on team call? Like ask for help in some areas. Husband, partner, spouse, mom, I can't do the laundry right now. Right? Like I was pulling 18-hour days here. The dishes, not on my list. I love my husband, but I said, no, I need help. Right? And it paid off. Ask for help, right? Use your days off. Practice self-care, right? Pouring into the business as an outlet is so important as well. This is your job, like I just said, but it's also such an amazing outlet, right? I got to come home and I was no longer behavior analyst, Miss Ashley. I was not. I came home and I was like, no kids. I don't have to analyze any kid behavior. I don't have to do that. Right now, I want to be on social media with my people. I want to be helping people live their best lives, right? So it's kind of an outlet for me as well. And it's a separation of your full-time job, right? Sometimes you just need to, right? Disassociate with Grey's Anatomy or another show, but try to use this as your outlet instead of like a chore, right? Oh my gosh, I got to go do my coach work. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. Pour into the business as an outlet, okay? I'm going to kind of go through exactly what I was doing in a nutshell. I believe wholeheartedly that doing the same vital behaviors at the same times every single day is everything. That was everything for me. So when I woke up, right, when I woke up in the morning, I knew exactly what vital behaviors I was getting done. It was not a free for all, I'm going to work for 30 minutes, period. It was no, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do my personal development, I'm going to do my recognition, I'm going to do my client check-ins, and I'm going to work out, and I'm going to plan for my social media before work. I never did my invites in the morning, right? So that is a huge tip of mine for like structuring your hours or your business times. After work, I always did the same thing. I was not doing personal development after work because that was my morning, right? So I really structured that out. So I'd wake up with one eye open. I kept my Energize next to my freaking bed. I was like drinking Energize in bed with my eyes closed, like listening to personal development and doing my recognition in my bed because I had to wake up so early. Guys, that's what it takes. I was in my bed. I have one eye open, right? I have one eye open. I was doing my personal development, my recognition. I was checking into my groups, making sure my social media was kind of planned out, but also being on social media for my stories, right? So like I would show my Energize and I would show my workout. And then I would walk, I would go to work, I would walk through the door after work, come into my house, and it's like, I still have to work. Remember what I said in the beginning of this call, my work day is not over until my business activity tracker is 10x. So I'd walk through the door and I'd sit down. I'd check in with my team. Again, making sure my social media was planned out. And then I would do all my new conversations. I would do my follow-ups and my connections and my adding to the network and my invites and all of those pieces. And then when I was still in grad school, I had like 2 hours of grad school to do. Blah, horrid, right? But I knew my business was first. Like I got that done and I was super intentional with those timers, guys. And then I would have like team calls and mentorships and all of those pieces. And then me time, Grey's Anatomy. One episode of just Grey's, not on my phone. I'm watching Grey's Anatomy, I'm going to bed, right? So that was kind of how I structured it. But biggest tip for power hours for me in terms of working full-time, being intentional and building a really great business, you need to structure your power hours or whatever you guys call it, that you're doing the same vitals at the same time every day, and makes it so much more streamlined and organized for you, okay? So all of a sudden, this was like working. Finally, after a long time, this was like working for me. So one year, we went from 1 star to 5 star in 6 months. And then we went from 5 to 10 in 6 months, okay? And I say that because I think sometimes we get really caught up in like, okay, I'm never going to find my working coaches. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to, right? The self-doubt creeps in. And I want you to know that it's normal, right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's normal to have that self-doubt. We just got to kick it to the curb. I thought I'd never find coaches. Like that was my biggest thing. I'm like, I can't even, where's my emerald? Like I can't even do the things. But when I really found my people, that's when the magic happened. And I was doing all the things, quote unquote, all the things, except talking about coaching on my stories and on my social media very often, right? I think, and some of you may relate to this, but I think talking about coaching and the coaching opportunity 2 times a week is not enough. And I bet that might be what you're doing. And you're nervous to talk about it too much. You're nervous to talk about it every single day. But if a new person comes on your Instagram that day and they're looking to start and you're not talking about your coaching opportunity, they're going to go to somebody else. So make sure you're not nervous to talk about things a lot. And every time I talk about this, I realize that I'm doing it too. I'm not talking about coaching enough right now, right? So it just gave me kind of a reminder of like, wow, you're not doing that every day. So making sure you're talking about coaching enough. That's how I found my people. And that's how we went from 1 to 10, right? It's so important to be talking about coaching and talking about coaching in your challenge group. You got to create those Beachbody fans in your challenge group. You got to teach them and show them what it's like to be a coach. Are you creating Beachbody super fans? I heard somebody say that on a training. I never take credit for it. I have no idea who it was. But are you creating Beachbody super fans in your challenge group? People who bleed blue, people who love this. Those are the people that you're going to want to be on your side, in your corner, when you are pushing for big goals and mentoring them to do the same. Okay. Are you creating FOMO? That was really hard for me at first. I wasn't creating FOMO. And when I started creating FOMO for my team, that's when it happened, right? So all the things, I was working full time, I was doing, I just talked about how I was doing it, my biggest tips, I was doing all the things. And then finally I was like, ding, 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 you're not creating FOMO and you're not talking about coaching. And once I did that, I planned that into my content schedule, right? And that's when my people started happening. So when I got my people together, I was like, great, love that for me. I have no idea what I'm doing to mentor people. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. So then I kind of had to just figure it out. And guys, I failed so many times. Hence the time when I told you it took me a long time to hit 10-star elite. Like it was bad. Like it took me so long because I was just trying to figure it out. And if you're failing forward, you're doing something right. Okay. If you're not failing in this business, you're not doing the things because everybody fails. Okay. So what I did to grow, I was still working full time. I was super busy, but I'm like, no, I'm done. Drawing my line in the sand. I am going to be a 10-star. Boom. Sorry about it. I'm doing the thing. That's what it is. So I got my team together. And if you have not done this with your team, if you are pushing to diamond and you have not asked your emeralds yet, hello. I asked the question, will you run with me? Will you run with me? And I described what that meant. I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to ask you if you're going to run with me because what you think is running and what I think is running is very different, right? This is what running means to me. So if you are pushing to diamond right now and you have You have an emerald coach on your team. Hello, hello. Are you willing to run with me? And this is what it looks like. Okay. Lay it out because you want your people. You want your people to know what it means to run with you. So I asked them the question. I was so upfront. Are you willing to do the things? I got them in a group chat. The group chat saved everything. If your coaches are not in a group chat, guys, you need to. It's the best thing ever. We have so much hype in there. We send gifts or GIFs or whatever the heck we want to call them. I never know. Every day. Oh God, it blows up. We have so much hype, all the things, right? And during this time, we were also having like runner calls, right? So if they told me, yes, I'm running with you, yay, okay, you better be running because we're gonna have calls and we're gonna do the things together. I kept a sticky note every single week and I tracked and I showed them on the call like, oh, look, you are pushing to diamond right now and this is where you're at. How many people do you need? You need 2 people? Great. And I showed them on the board. That was super helpful. So if you are pushing to diamond and you have 2 people pushing to emerald, get on a call with them and show them, okay, I'm not sure why, like Patricia just came to my mind for a name, like do not ask me. Okay, Patricia, it's not okay. That was so random. Hi, you need 1 more person, look, and show them visually and update that weekly. That's what I was doing. So I had lots of sticky notes. I'm like, okay, Kayla, you need 3 people. Chelsea, you need 4 people. And that was really, really helpful. And those are the calls that I was having at night. So when I was showing you kind of my schedule, that's when I did my calls. They're always at 8 p.m. They're always at 8 p.m. So even while working full time, even while like having a really busy schedule, I would always make sure to do those little tiny calls to update my leaders, the people that were running with me. It does not need to be an hour. Something that you need to learn. Your mentorship calls do not need to be an hour, 20 minutes. Hello, everyone. I love you so much. Let's look at our sticky notes. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get it. Like that was it. But it was really important to show up. I also gave them the resources. So if you have created resources for your business, right? So if you have if you have systems around how you onboard challengers or what you do in your challenge groups, I was also sharing that all with them, right? I was making sure they really knew, hey, this is in your Coach Online office. I was giving them all the resources. Okay, so that's really important. On leader calls, every week we would do the sticky note thing. And then on our team calls, we would go over some resources. Hey, you need 2 people, XYZ. These are some systems that I use. These are some resources that I use. Here's a training that I really enjoyed and I was able to implement from, right? So I also did that. Biggest thing ever, guys, are you leading by example? Hello. Are you showing your coaches that are also working full-time? Maybe, likely. Are you showing them that you can be successful working full-time? If you are not hitting Success Club, super sorry, your coaches are not going to hit Success Club. If you want them to hit Success Club, somebody told me this in a train, not me. I watched it. It was National Wake Up Call, like literally in 2016, I bet. And I heard somebody say, like, your coaches do half of what you do. Holy bananas. I was like, oh crap. Wonder why I was hitting Success Club 6. So my goal became my challenge groups as well, because I wanted to build my challenge group. I wanted to hit Success Club. I wanted to help as many people, of course, because behind those Success Club numbers are people that were inspiring, which is the most important part of this business. That's why we do the things. But I started to say like, okay, Ash, like you will not hit anything lower than Success Club 20. Nope, you won't, because I wanted my coaches to be hitting Success Club 10 and growing their business rapidly. So just making sure that you're also leading by example. So when we were getting to that, sticky note call every week, I was like, okay, and my second business center was a part of the 10-star push, right, for our team. So I was like, hey, this is me. I'm in the trenches with you. I'm leading by example. I need 4 people too. Let's get it. Right? So leading by example is something really, really important, even after a really, really long day at work. Really long day at work. Maybe you come home and you have kids and you have to make their dinner and put them to bed and do all the mom things, right? But then you need to leave a little bit of gas left in your tank if you really want this business to work. Okay. So that means leading by example for your team. This is how I first created FOMO. I hosted a big leader retreat, my first one, and my team freaking blew up because of it. Then they were like, oh, I want to be on your next one, right? And I'm not saying you guys have to host this like fancy retreat, right? I had never hosted one, so I kind of went all out. But even small ones, get together with your local coaches and go to lunch, right? Like go to lunch and work together, like little like earned things, bring them little gifts, like create that FOMO of an actual team community. And that's what really brought my leaders together to be able to push 1 to 5 star and then 5 to 10. I was creating FOMO for other people to see like, wow, that looks like so much effing fun, right? And it created FOMO on my team as well to increase the number of leaders. It was a 5-star retreat. So I had 5 girls, maybe 6. It was whoever hit diamond, right? So then the next 6 months or that next year, we hit 10 because all those girls were like, I want to be on that retreat next year, right? So creating FOMO is really important as well. With all that being said, I have one tip that is the most important thing that changed my business, okay? All of that changed my business, but this right here is the one thing that I can say that I did differently in my business from when I was trying to build while working full time to actually building to 10 star, okay? And that was learning my coaches. And you're probably saying like, what the F do you mean I know my coaches, right? So quick story about a coach on my team named Chelsea, and she taught me literally so much about leadership. It's not even funny. It was life-changing for me. I was like, wow. So I had to figure out my coaches. See, I'm very numbers oriented. I'm very Success Club, rank, like I love that, right? I love the numbers. I'm a data person. So I'm like, give me all the numbers. So I'm really, really motivated to hit those ranks and to have like the milestones. Road to Elite is my shit. Like I love it. So I was treating every leader on my team as if that was their motivator. I just figured, oh yeah, they must be motivated by Success Club numbers. They must be motivated by rank. Holy mother, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Not everyone is motivated by the same things, and not everybody receives that praise the same way. And also, when you're leading by example and you're leading your team, you have to provide some sort of leadership in terms of when they're feeling down, right? So if you are a diamond coach and your emeralds are like, oh, I'm so burnt out, or like, I can't do it. Or if you're a star diamond trying to pull your diamonds out of the rut, right? You have to make sure that what you're doing when they're feeling down matches what they need. So when my coach Chelsea was feeling down about her business, I would go right in with like, oh, like Success Club rank, like blah, 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 like look how many people. No, that's not what she needed. That's not what she needed. So and she taught me that. She taught me, because a lot of my leaders are motivated by the same thing as me, but she is one that is strictly motivated by the community. Period. She could give 2 shits about Success Club. She does not care about rank or anything like that. So I realized, wow, I'm not helping or leading her at all. All I'm doing is reminding her of stuff that she cares about, but not really. Okay. So then I took all of my diamonds and then I did it again for my new diamonds when we went 5 to 10. And I had all of them. I was like a stalker. I'm like, you guys, I had them take the Enneagram test. I had them take the love language test, and I had them all send me their results. I'm literally psycho, but I promise this is what happened for me. Then I learned all of them. So when my coach, Alicia, had a really bad week and she's feeling down and she reaches out to me for help, I knew what she needed. I know what she's motivated by. And in that moment, I knew. My coach, Chelsea, who I'm talking about right now, who really changed my whole perspective on leading, what she needed was to speak on team call. How specific did I get, right? Like I went down to nitty gritty. She loves speaking about the community, and she just loves to share her, like how she builds. She has an amazing challenge group. Like her community is absolutely freaking phenomenal. So when she's feeling down, I always make her speak on team call. And it was so funny at first because they didn't know what I was doing, but there was one week she was like, I'm so down, like I don't know what's happening. And I made her speak on team call the next week. And she was like, why are you doing that? Like, I'm telling you that I'm struggling, and why would I train next week, And then after she trained, she was like, you know, you were so right. Like, that's exactly what I needed. And her fire would skyrocket. But before, guys, I would just be like, oh, Chelsea, you know, let's hit Success Club rank. Woo! Didn't mean anything to her. She didn't need that. So that is what I did. That is what I did to really change the game for me. So if you're pushing to diamond and you have your emeralds under you, you need to be a stalker. Like, like honestly, make them take the Enneagram test, learn about them. What's their love language? What do they need in the moment? What are they motivated by? Right? Because if you're talking to people about, community, right? I know we're all doing this for community, but if somebody is really motivated by income, that's what they need to be talking about when they're down rather than something else. So make sure that you're learning your leaders, okay? You have to be learning your leaders. So important. One thing I did differently, I swear to God. With all of that to say, I want you to know that you can do the things. You can do the things. We have it hard, man. We're building this business. You have a life. You have all the things. You're working full time. You're freaking tired sometimes. You have long days. I get it. I get it, right? But I took my excuses about that a long time ago and I put them in the trash because that does not matter. And I know that sounds super harsh, but that was my mindset. Your feelings are valid. You're tired. I get it, right? Like, I totally get it. Your feelings are valid, but they should not be what keeps you from running this business and building it to where you want it to go. Okay. Teach your team, lead by example, right? You need to really share this business with your team and share your success and share your vision for the team. You need to be leading by example and showing them, hey, I don't even know a nurse schedule, but like some of the nurses on my team, they work like 4 days straight, like 13-hour shifts, and they come home and like sleep for 2 days and then they wake up and they have to run their business, right? Like that is freaking hard. But you need to come on to your team page. You need to talk to your coaches, get in the trenches with them and say, hey, I had a 12-hour day too. Let's do this together. You want to pop on a call for 30 minutes? That is how you build your team. That is how you build your team. This business is about people. So you need to learn your people. You need to learn your coaches. What do they need? So I did all the things, right? I scheduled my power hours. I was showing up every single day, one less episode of Grey's Anatomy, everything I said in the beginning, guys. You probably heard it all before, but the one thing that I changed was that I actually dove into my coaches and I learned them. And that's what got us from 1 to 10 star. It's the only thing that got us there, right? All those other things, of course, mattered, but that's the only change I made. And I started to realize that this business is about people. You need to learn your clients. Of course, we know that. We talk to our challengers all the time. What's your why? Where are you right now? How can I help you? What's your past look like? But I think we don't do that with our coaches. Even if you have one Emerald coach, do you know what they're motivated by? Do you know what they're working for? What do they need in the moment? Because that is what's going to help you lead successfully, right? Even while working full time. That is going to help you lead successfully. And when you're leading successfully, you're going to advance coaches. And when you're advanced coaches, your goals are going to be met. Okay? You guys are amazing. There's nothing in this world that is stopping you from growing your business. I started with, Jesus, I didn't know what I was doing. It took me forever to hit my goals, but I had a really clear vision. So I know you guys can do this. There's nothing stopping you, right? Except maybe your mindset. Ooh, gut check. What are you saying to yourself every single day? Okay. You have to remember that. You guys can do this. There's no difference between you and the top coach of the entire network. She probably started in the exact same position you're in right now. Okay. So I want you guys to really, really think about that and do a gut check. What are you saying to yourself? Are you saying to yourself that you're a bad leader? Are you saying that you can't, build this business successfully when you're working full time? Because you absolutely freaking can if you tell yourself you can. Okay. Okay. I hope that was helpful. I'm here for any questions. If you guys have any questions for me, any random questions, totally doesn't matter. But I hope that was helpful.
No, that was seriously so amazing. I feel like it was like such a gut check for like so much. I do have a couple questions. Just one is because we were talking about like your group chat with your coaches. is this a group chat of just, because this is where I kind of struggle with, is this a group chat with just your PS coaches, and like, are they emeralds and above, or is it like, hey, you're inviting this group chat for like your coaches?
My group chat, my like specific group chat is just my personally sponsored coaches who, when I started this, they were already diamond but shaky. So like they were diamond, but like then they went backwards. But now I have a second group chat for emeralds, just my emeralds that are pushing to diamond. So I have like my diamond chat, which creates a lot of FOMO actually, because we talk about it a lot. And then I have like my rising leader chat now. But when I first did the group chat, it was just my diamonds that were like kind of shaky. So we had like two. And then it grew from there, but it just my PS coaches for those.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. And then my question is, because we're like the same vibe. Like I'm very like, okay, like let's run together, let's do this, let's freaking go. And I feel like I have seasons of that. Like as a leader, just me speaking, you have seasons of that where it's like really good momentum, and then it's like faded, and you feel like you were the only one running. So how, as a leader, because I know that even if you're on this call, you're not there yet, you will feel that and it will be hard. How do you keep your joy and your momentum? Like when you're in your team page, you're like, hey, I just got off of work. Anyone want to hop on a power hour? And you're like solo on a power hour. Like, you know what I mean?
Girl, me right now, like me today. Like I was like, anybody want to hop on? Absolutely zero humans. Like guys, you all need to realize that even if you're a 5-star, 2-star, 10-star, whatever, I got on a power hour today by myself. Like nobody showed up. There's seasons of that 110%. My team, except this year, we are struggling. But for the last 4 years, my team, January to July, amazing. We are elite already. We are 10-star, like whatever. And then from July, August is okay. And then like from that point on in December, I'm not sure. Where are they? I'm not sure. It's bad. So I just continue to mentor like I usually do. So I'm checking in, I'm doing all the things, but to keep my joy, because I let that get to me. And I'm in that season right now. And I actually was just talking to my husband today about that. I'm like, I got to get back because I'm getting like irritated. Like I'm getting like super frustrated and no one's doing all the things. So I lean into things that I love about this business even more. So, you know, you have your vitals that you really love, and then you have your vitals that you kind of like don't love. For me, I love social media. So I have to remember to pour in even more to the spaces in this business that I love the most, to kind of keep my joy going. So I am creating new content. I am creating reels, and I am connecting with people on social media. So I just have to dive in a little bit more to the things that I love most about the business. Because if I don't, and I'm just like regular doing social media, but then I go to my team and pour, right? I'm going to leave with an empty cup because I'm not doing the things that I absolutely love. So I just have to remember what keeps me going, in terms of the joy of the business. Does that make sense?
No, it totally does. And like, obviously, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, power hours, like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Because I know so many people have different schedules. There's a lot of moms, there's a lot of nurses, a lot of things going on. It's hard, right? But at the same time, it's like posting recognition and posting this. And it's like, why are we not excited? Why are we not excited? Like for me, and again, but it also goes back to like, what is driving them? Like maybe recognition doesn't drive that. Maybe recognition doesn't spark their interest, right? Like maybe that's what it is. So I really love the idea of like, you know, digging into what motivates them, like you said, what keeps their joy. Because I know for some people, recognition is just like, oh, cool, like she's doing it, cool, like whatever. But when you become a leader and you're doing your own recognition, like, and you post it and you get crickets, like just pre-warning you, you'll know how it feels.
It's like not fun. And it like, guys, it like takes some time to do that. Like the recognition piece. Yeah, I would totally say like learn your coaches, but also recognition in your team calls and things, that's a little different, but like making sure you're pouring into the coaches that are showing up. That was huge for me. That was a big shift in the last 4 months for me. I was kind of like, all right, I'm here. You guys know what you're doing. A couple of people, you know what you're doing. Love you so much. But like, I got to pivot to my rising leaders right now, and not dive into too much of my veteran leaders that are kind of falling. So pour into the people that are showing up for sure. And same with your challengers, guys. Like same with your challengers. Pour into the people that are showing up or you're going to waste your energy.
No, that's one thing that I learned from 2020 is like giving energy to the ones that are actually showing up. Like, because it can be draining, you guys. It really can be draining to like pull someone and be like, what is wrong? How can I help you? How can I serve you? And it's like literally not about you, but we make it about ourselves. And it's so hard. Like that is the one hard thing about being a leader is like, just, it's hard. You know, we make it about us when in reality, it's not about us. And we can be giving and serving that energy to other challengers. I love that you said challengers too. Other challengers who are showing up, who could be, oh my gosh, I circled that like so hardcore. Beachbody super fans. I loved that. I
wish
that.
I could remember who said that. I swear to God, I did not make that up, but I heard that and I'm like, I'm using that for the rest of my life. Like,
yeah.
I love that term.
I love that mindset, like just creating Beachbody super fans. I love that. So yeah. Did anyone have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Ashley, I'm just curious what you do in your power hours. Like, how long do you do each category? And then I'm always so curious about like how people create content, because there's so many times when it's like, even though like when you're in a good headspace, you're like, oh, I could do this, 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 and this. And then on the days where you're like, I don't know what to post. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You're literally, you guys both are speaking to my soul because this week I've been on a roll with content. And then this past week, I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like I'm in such a content block right now. So you guys are like, yes, I'm in the same boat. So wait, what was your first power hours? I usually, if I have newer coaches on the power hour, I will take them through like kind of like a, what do I call them? Power 30s. So it doesn't always have to be a power hour too. If you're running short on time, sometimes I do a power 30 and they're quick, right? So I'm like, all right, everyone, go check in with your challenge groups. I'm giving you 3 minutes because posting in a challenge group and checking in with a couple clients does not take long, right? All right, people, I want you to go add or connect on your Instagram with 10 people. I'm going to set a timer for X amount, 5 minutes, right? So I take them through really, really quickly. And honestly, I don't think it matters too much about the timing of it. I would just make sure you're going through everything. If it's my leaders, my veteran coaches, I don't say a word. I'm like, ready, set, go, love you. I'm going to play Justin Bieber and we're going to do the things. Like, I don't do any of that. But if it's new coaches, I do break it down a little bit more. Creating content. Since the beginning of my business, I am somebody who plans out their content on like Sunday. Like I am a Sunday gal. I do all my pictures, all my reels, and all of my content. And that just works for me. A lot of other people are like in the moment, like they're really talking about what's happening in their lives right now. So I do that sometimes. If I'm really feeling something passionate that day, I will go in and like change it. But I use the Plan app to PLANN. I'm not sure if you guys use it, but I use the Plan app to kind of plan out my content, right? So I do everything on Sunday. And I make sure I'm in a good headspace. I put on Justin Bieber and I write down, I'm not kidding. I'm that girl. And then I take a piece of paper and I write down to remind myself, what are my top 9, right? And that is the first like block of your Instagram people see when they click on your page. So I write down all the things, kind of like my brand, right? I'm a law enforcement officer wife. That's something I always talk about. I'm pregnant now, so all the things. I'm a dog mom. I'm really into talking about mental health. So I have everybody knows I love Grey's Anatomy, like seriously. So those are the things I write down. And then I'm like, okay, what do I want to talk about this week? Definitely, I get lots of questions right now about my pregnancy. So I always want to, insert some of those in there. So when I'm having a hard time, I really write it down and remind myself, what are these things? And I used to have a really hard time with content because I was like, wow, I'm not cool. Like I literally am like, okay, all these people are posting really great pictures and I'm like in my living room, like I don't travel. I'm tired. I don't travel. So I used to think like I'm in a creative block because I don't have like fancy pictures and like all the things and traveling the world. Like I'm in my living room on my couch watching Grey's Anatomy and working my business with my dogs. Like, and that is okay, right? That's not a content block. That's you sharing your life. So making sure that you're not tricking yourself into thinking that you have nothing to talk about, because talking about your life is what your audience wants you to do, because that's why they follow you, right? That's why your challengers are in your challenge group. That's why your coaches are on your team, because you're being you, right? So making sure that you're writing down those things that make you you, those things that are making your brand, and talking about that. Even when you feel like, oh, I don't have a good topic, think about what you did today. Think about something that's really important to you. Get really vulnerable. When you get really vulnerable, it can be really scary, but it can take you out of that content block. Last year I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and when I opened up about that, so much engagement. Do they all join my challenge group? No, but this is about growing your Instagram, right? So getting really vulnerable sometimes can be like, oh, I don't have anything to post, and then you really think about it and you're like, that thing I haven't shared yet. So that can be a good way of getting out of your like block as well.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I mean, like I have like the topics for my brand or whatever, but then I get, the overthinking comes and it goes, yeah, but people don't care about you necessarily. Like you need to give them value instead of using your social media as a diary. But then, other people are like, yeah, but share your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm always curious to know like how other coaches have done it, just to see like what's working and what's not. So.
Yeah, I totally try to do a mix. I do a mix of like my diary post. I love that. That's so funny. The diary post. I love that. I'm using that again for the rest of my life. I really am. I love that. I do both. I make sure that I'm providing value. So I know I didn't post. My tonight post, it's like my plan just went off. My tonight's post is about fitness. So I'm talking about like my pregnancy journey with fitness and postpartum and all that stuff, but I'm talking about my challenge groups and like the fitness, right? So that's kind of a diary / business post, right? Like it's both. And I think that's really important. Sometimes I'll post a picture of just my dogs and talk about how I adopted a freaking dog from Turkey. I really did. I'm not lying. Like, wow, why? Yeah, it's weird. He's literally from Turkey, right? So that has nothing to do with the business. So that's a life post, right? So I kind of intertwine them, and then I make sure I have like a mixture of both. And I know that can be really hard to balance, but kind of make a schedule every other or whatever you want to do, just to get in the swing of things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else have questions?
Oh, what's your Instagram?
What's my Instagram?
Yes.
I'll type it. Oh my God, Otto's so cute. Yes, Melissa, you follow me. He's so cute, right? He was in the meat trade in Asia. I cry when I talk about it. I'm typing it because my maiden name's in there too, and no one knows how to spell it.
A dog from Turkey. I want to see.
Honestly, sometimes I'm like, how did we get him? Like, where did we, like, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really sad. He was in the meat trade in Turkey and whatever, and we rescued him. So he's here, but I talk a lot about that. Nothing to do with the business, but hey, people know I have Otto.
I love that. Yeah, people love that I share Luna and Nala. They love that I share Brandon. They love that I share other things that are not Beachbody or coaching. But that was great. Thank you so much. Seriously, I took 3 pages of notes. So pumped, so excited. All my dogs, there they go. Literally, if a pin drops, they will bark. It's so annoying. But if no one has any other questions, yes, Emma will get the recording up ASAP. We're going to take a quick pic. Ashley, if you want to be on it, you totally can.
Tag me also, so I like read whatever, post it. Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to take it on my computer and then we'll do a booma, but okay, everyone unmute your video, smile, do all of the things. I love that Zara is on. Hi, Zara. So cute. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, boomerang really quick, and then we will all go. Thank you so much for being on. And again, if you're watching the recording and have questions, just type in the chat, whatever. Okay, 1. Okay, hold on, phone. Work with me here. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Loves it.
Oh, it's so cute. I never get a good boomerang. That's so cute. Okay, great.
I love it. Gotta create that FOMO, you know? All right, ladies, thank you so much, Ashley, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys for having me. Have a good night.
Bye.